more than 100 Republican national security experts and former national security staffers for Republican administrations have now come forward, and they're begging Donald Trump to do what everybody sees he needs to do, and that is concede that you lost this election, that you are in fact a loser, so that we can all move on, and most importantly, so that we can get the Biden transition underway. Now, I know a lot of people out there don't necessarily understand the significance of the transition team and all that, but here's the thing that most frustrates these security experts. Again, they're all Republicans. They understand the fact that you have a team coming in with Biden that has to get these security clearances. If they do not get these security clearances, they're not going to be able to do their jobs because they're not going to have all the intelligence. And this typically happens during the transition. Remember all the issues that Trump's people had getting these security clearances because of all the conflicts of interest, the potential for blackmail that a lot of them had, and most of them ended up having to operate on a temporary basis because they simply couldn't get it. Jared Kushner kept filling out his form wrong and lying about things, and eventually Trump had to force them to give him the clearance. Yeah, Biden's people need those things. And I don't think Biden's people are going to have the problems that Trump's people had, mostly because Biden's just picking people who, for the most part, have already served in government anyway, because God forbid we have new voices anywhere. So he's just picking the same old people, but they have to have those security clearances. The intelligence with regards to foreign policy, domestic policy, hell, with the pandemic even, changes on a near constant basis. So just because these people had access to these materials, 4 years ago, 8 years ago, some of them, it doesn't mean that they know what's happening in the world today. They can read all the news they want. They can talk to their friends as much as they want. They're not able to get the inside intelligence once they leave the administration. So they have to have these clearances, especially when you consider what this country is going through right now. When you consider the fact that we have these ongoing wars in the Middle East, that Trump is actually considering escalating at this point because he's so mad at the American public and he's trying to sabotage everything with Iran, Biden's people need to be aware of what's happening, what has been happening, so that they can come up with a plan that's not going to result in World War III as soon as they come into office. That's the problem here. That's why this matters. This isn't just Donald Trump throwing a temper tantrum. This is a matter of national security. And sure, if Republicans had any scruples, they would be banding together, going on every major talk show in this country, screaming at the top of their lungs for Trump to admit defeat, just like these 100 national security experts are doing. But unfortunately, there's not enough people in the Republican Party with enough sense or enough spine to actually stand up and do that. So we get things like this. We get a letter. We get, oh, you signed your name on it. Yay! You did everything you're supposed to. That makes up for decades of being horrible. No, it doesn't. You really want to make a stink? Get out there and make a stink. But if not, you can keep your letters to yourself because they really don't mean squat at the end of the day.